last ally in the dormitory, now reduced to utter solitude. With the evening fee secured, Su Wei's thoughts shifted back to the alluring alien laptop exuding an irresistible charm. "Hey, Gonggu," Su Wei said, rubbing his hands together. Inching closer to Wang Gan, his eyes fixated on the device. "Could I borrow this to play with? Just until dinner. I promise I won't break it." The laptop's futuristic design and dazzling lighting effects captivated him, especially when powered on. Its seamless operating speed and top-tier gaming performance were a dream come true for a young man with an internet addiction. His own outdated computer now seemed a mere heap of electronic waste in comparison. Wang Gan observed Su Wei's eager expression, nearly drooling, and found it rather amusing. He understood that for someone like Su Wei, a small gesture of kindness would elicit boundless gratitude and unwavering loyalty. Moreover, for Wang Gan, this alien laptop was merely a transitional toy, destined to be replaced by something superior in due time. "All right, enjoy it," he affirmed with a nod, generously adding, "But take it easy, and also, could you install all the games for me?" "Rest assured, Brother Gan, I'm a seasoned pro," Su Wei exclaimed, his face lighting up at Wang Gan's approval as he carefully cradled the alien laptop to his desk. He plugged it in, donned his headphones, and once again immersed himself in his beloved Summoner's Rift, murmuring, "The top configuration is truly exceptional. The graphics, the frame rate, pure bliss." Observing Su Wei's unrefined enthusiasm, Gu Linfeng smirked, thinking to himself, "You've just given away your precious toy." He also enjoyed gaming, but his preference lay with console games, which were not feasible in their dormitory. Thus, he took out his phone and began chatting with the girl. As for Wang Gan, he felt somewhat fatigued. From the previous night until now, he had experienced rebirth, severed ties with Wu Yuwei, placed bets, and spent money. His mind had been in a state of heightened excitement and tension, and now he could finally relax. He yawned and informed Gu Linfeng and the engrossed Su Wei. "I'll catch a nap for a bit. I need to recharge for tonight. Wake me up later." "Sure thing, Brother Gan. You rest up," Su Wei replied without looking up. Chapter 15. Gossip. Wang Gan slept deeply, oblivious to the world, until he was abruptly roused by urgent shaking and shouting in the evening. "Brother Gan, wake up. The sun has already set." Groggily, Wang Gan opened his eyes to see Su Wei's anxious face looming close. "What's going on?" he mumbled, rubbing his still heavy head, his voice hoarse from sleep. "It's time to eat, Brother Gan. You promised we could choose wherever we wanted, and we picked Hadaleo," Su Wei complained, clearly irritated. "You can really sleep, you know. It's almost 6 o'clock. If we don't hurry, we want to find a spot during peak hours. I am starving." Realizing how late it had become, Wang Gan stretched and sat up, feeling significantly more alert. The fatigue from before had vanished completely. "All right, I get it. No need to rush," he said while putting on his shoes. "If necessary, we can wait in line." "Absolutely not. We must eat at the first opportunity. I haven't even had a meal yet," Su Wei insisted, his obsession with Hadaleo evident. The other two were also ready, awaiting their generous benefactor. Wang Gan quickly freshened up and changed into his newly purchased clothes. Glancing at his invigorated reflection in the mirror, he silently commended his own handsomeness with a satisfied nod. With a grand gesture, he declared, "Let us go. Our destination is Hadaleo. Tonight, we feast without restraint." "Oh yeah, Hadaleo, here I come." Su Wei Ji, the first to dash out of the dormitory. Gu Linfeng chuckled and followed suit, while Huang Mingzhi, ever the slowpoke, leisurely trailed behind with a book in hand. Wang Gan said nothing about this. After all, there was always room for one more pair of chopsticks. "By the way, Fatty, I need to ask you about someone." Su Wei immediately perked up and turned around. "Who dares to ask, brother? Is she from our department?" Wang Gan nodded. "It's Ji Qinshin, you know her? The one from class 2. Quite beautiful." "Yikvinkin?" Su Wei's eyes brightened, revealing an expression of understanding. Lowering his voice, he gossiped, "Brother Gan, are you interested in her? Quite the discerning eye you have. She is recognized as one of the 2 campus beauties in our journalism department." He paused, his tone taking on a somewhat mysterious quality. "But let me share something heartfelt, Brother Gan. If this is just a fleeting fancy, that's fine, but please don't get too infatuated, not like you did with Wu Yue. Ji Qinshin may appear innocent, but behind the scenes, the whispers among the girls are quite unflattering." "Oh, What do you mean? Vangunfagnet curiosity. Some say she often returns to her dormitory around 11 or 12 at night, and several times, different cars have been seen dropping her off at the dorm building. So everyone is speculating whether she is being pampered by someone, Su Wei concluded, glancing around furtively, as if fearing eavesdroppers. Pampered? At the mention of this term, Wang Gan scoffed internally, drawing upon vague memories from his past life, coupled with the sight of her diligently working at a counter earlier that day. He was nearly certain such claims were baseless. How could a woman supposedly being pampered still toil away at a part-time job for meager wages? It was more likely that she came from a challenging background and was working hard to support herself. Such rumors were merely the product of jealousy among some girls. Truly, why must women complicate matters for one another? Nevertheless, this presented an intriguing angle. After his rebirth, Wang Gan found himself in no shortage of financial means. Observing Wang Gan's apparent skepticism, Su Wei pressed on, of course, this is all hearsay without evidence. However, her family situation does seem to be less than favorable. She is often seen either working or en route to work. He thumped his chest and continued, I have a high school acquaintance named Ruan Qing, who is in the same class as Ji Qin. If you are genuinely interested in her and wish to learn more, I can ask Ruan Qing for you next time. All right, please keep an eye on this for me. Wang Gan nodded, formulating his own plans. Ruan Qing could possibly serve as a valuable informant. When pursuing a girl, one should not solely focus on her. Sometimes, a comment from those around her can be more impactful than 1,000 words spoken by oneself. Wang Gan recalled his university days, where he had devoted himself to being a sycophant to Wu Yue, neglecting to manage his relationships with her close friends. That woman had often spoken ill of him, leading to numerous arguments. But the current Wang Gan was different. Although he had not had many practical opportunities in over a decade, the rise of short videos in the modern era had exposed him to the dynamics between men and women. He had seen some playboys even turn their experiences into courses to sell, capitalizing on the naivety of others. At that moment, Huang Mingzhi, who had remained silent until now, spoke up. Wang Gan, you have just parted ways with Wu Yue. How can you so quickly begin to inquire about another girl? One must be devoted in life. And pursuing a girl requires sincerity and patience. He paused for a moment, seemingly feeling the need to provide additional information. Moreover, I heard from Chunjing yesterday that Wu Yue had cried for a long time in the dormitory over the fact that you sold concert tickets and blocked her, leaving her eyes swollen. I believe you should reflect on this matter, considering the bond you two shared for over 3 years, which is not an easy feat. Before he could finish, Wang Gan waved his hand to interrupt him, his tone clearly laced with impatience. Enough, Huang Mingzhi. My affairs are not your concern. Mind your own business. He was utterly disinclined to explain anything to this pedantic overachiever. Did Wu Yue cry out of emotion? No, she wept over her lost face. What hardship is she talking about? It is he who has faced difficulties. Was Wu Yue exhausted from work, parched from thirst, or had her legs grown thin from shopping? This fellow clearly harbored feelings for Chunjing, yet lacked the courage to express them. Hearing snippets of news about Wu Yue from Chunjing and then coming to act as a mediator was utterly laughable. Huang Mingzhi appeared momentarily taken aback, opening his mouth but ultimately choosing silence, merely shaking his head in response. After a 10-minute walk, they arrived at Hadaleo, where, as Su Wei had anticipated, a long queue had already formed at the entrance. Oh no, arrived too late. I wonder how long we'll have to wait. Su Wei lamented, stepping to the front desk to grab a handful of sunflower seeds, intending to share with Wang Gan and the others. Wang Gan waved his hand dismissively, chuckling. Look at your pitiful state. Have you never had hot pot before? I've cooked it at home, but I've never dined at such a renowned establishment. It was only 2014, and Hadaleo's rise to fame had not yet reached its peak. The service level, far exceeding industry standards, still held considerable allure for youths from small towns. Young people, after all, seek novelty and relish in the bustling atmosphere. Wang Gan approached the front of the queue, inquiring with 2 tables of guests, and effortlessly spent 500 yuan to buy their place in line. Ganga, this is too extravagant, truly too extravagant. We can wait, there's no rush. You may not value your time, but the time of Gan Shao is not something that can be purchased for 500 yuan. without Wang Gan needing to elaborate. Gu Linfeng, the second-generation rich kid, quickly filled in the blanks. He prided himself on being affluent, relishing a sense of superiority in front of his roommates. However, spending hundreds to buy a spot in line was beyond his means. University students' time is not worth much. The cost-effectiveness is simply too low. At this moment, Gu Linfeng was thoroughly convinced of Wang Gan's persona, firmly believing him to be a young man who had clashed with his family but reconciled. Within 2 minutes, the inside called their number. Chapter 16. A chance encounter. Soon, a uniformly clad waitress emerged, beaming, and led them to an available table. The booth was situated by the window, offering a pleasant view of the bustling crowd outside. Once seated, the waitress promptly presented warm towels, aprons, fruits, and snacks, attentively inquiring about their preferred broth and beverages. Wang Gan handed the menu to Su Wei and Gu Linfeng, saying, "Don't be shy. Order whatever you like. Let's go with the dual-flavor broth, half spicy, half mild." Upon hearing this, Su Wei felt no need to hold back any longer. Upon seizing the menu, a fervent flurry of orders ensued. Exquisite tripe, marbled beef, succulent shrimp paste, brain matter, and yellow throat, each selection deliberately chosen for its lavish price, as if determined to indulge in opulence to the fullest. Gu Linfeng and Huang Mingzhi also ordered several of their favorite signature dishes. Soon, the bubbling broth and an array of ingredients arrived in succession, the crimson oil swirling and the enticing aroma wafting through the air. The group eagerly commenced their feast. The tripe from Haidaleo is truly invigorating," Su Wei exclaimed, slipping a slice of the tender delicacy into his mouth, his eyes narrowing in satisfaction. "This beef is delightful as well, quite tender," Gu Linfeng remarked. Wang Gan too picked up a slice of the beef, briefly submerging it in the searing spicy pot, then dipped it in fragrant oil and garlic before savoring it. The numbing, spicy, and savory flavors erupted on his palate. Indeed, it is a taste I have long missed. Ever since his fall from grace to the realm of food delivery, he had not indulged in hot pot that cost hundreds per meal. After all, lacking a suitable context, a solitary bachelor dining alone lacked imagination. As for the occasional gatherings with friends, wouldn't a street stall be far more economical? As the four relished their meal, toasting and sharing laughter, a chorus of animated female voices echoed from the adjacent aisle. Wang Gan glanced up to discover none other than their class monitor, Wang Qi, accompanied by several girls from her dormitory. Among them was He Qingxian, one of the two most admired beauties of the journalism department and the class flower of Wang Gan's cohort. Clad in a delicate blue dress, her long hair cascading down, she exuded a graceful charm that made her stand out amidst the crowd of girls. Gu Linfeng's eyes brightened instantly. He discreetly nudged Wang Gan with his elbow, lowering his voice with a hint of excitement. "Hey, old Wang, look, it's He Qingxian. You must invite them over to join us. This meal is on me." This rascal, upon seeing He Qingxian, had entirely forgotten to address him as Gan Xiao. Gu Linfeng had long harbored feelings for the pure and well-off class flower. Yet his affections had remained unreciprocated, leaving him quite wounded. Wang Gan followed his gaze, nodded, and a knowing smile graced his lips. "No need. I shall take care of this," he stated, pondering the opportunity to showcase his newfound stature before a larger audience. Here was a chance that had presented itself fortuitously. Moreover, assisting his friend would also reflect the grandeur befitting a faux wealthy heir. He stood, adjusted his collar, and approached Wang Qi and her companions, who were furrowing their brows while negotiating with the waiter. Adorned with a beaming smile, he greeted, "Class monitor. What a coincidence, you two are here for hot pot." Wang Qi paused momentarily upon seeing Wang Gan, then responded with a smile. "Indeed, Wang Gan, what a surprise. The restaurant is quite crowded. We may have to wait for a considerable time." "How fortuitous." Wang Gan gestured towards his table. "We have spare seats, if you don't mind. Shall we share a table? There's ample room, and it would be lively. Today it's my treat." Wang Qi and the girls behind her, He Qingxian, Zhang Xiaoya, Huang Wan, and others, were taken aback. Wang Gan's demeanor today was in stark contrast to the previous image of a man orbiting around Wu Wei. "How about we do this? Each gender pays half. Wang Qi, no longer willing to wait, acquiesced to Wang Gan's proposal. However, she was not one to take advantage of small favors, especially since they had prepared ample funds for their gathering today. After all, it was a rare occasion to treat the class leader and several lovely ladies to a meal. How splendid it was! Wouldn't you agree? As soon as Wang Gan spoke, Gu Linfeng eagerly chimed in. Indeed, class leader, please join us. Our brother Gan has come into a little fortune today and wishes to treat everyone. The girls exchanged glances, and He Qingxian gave a slight nod of approval. Wang Qi, maintaining her politeness, inquired, would this be too much of an imposition on you? Oh, what imposition? We're all classmates. Please have a seat. Wang Gan warmly beckoned, instructing the waiter to bring over chairs from the adjacent table. Thus, what had initially been a gathering of 4 young men swiftly transformed into a social event for both male and female dormitories. The atmosphere grew lively with a mingling of genders. Without hesitation, Wang Gan assumed the role of host. He took the menu, disregarding the prices, and boldly began to order. Let's have another dual-flavor hot pot base, extra spicy and numbing. 3 portions each of beef tripe, duck intestines, and lamb. 2 plates each of snowflake beef and premium lamb rolls. Shrimp paste, brain matter, luncheon meat. Oh, and let the ladies choose their preferred vegetables. As for drinks, let's start with a dozen beers. Ladies, what would you like? Sour plum soup or coconut juice? His extravagant ordering left Su Wei seated nearby, wide-eyed, while the girls from Wang Qi's dormitory exchanged astonished glances, particularly Zhang Xiaoya and Huang Wan, who hailed from modest backgrounds and were accustomed to frugal dining, had never witnessed such a lavish spread. Their gazes towards Wang Gan were tinged with curiosity and intrigue. Wang Qi recalled the scolding she received at noon, yet now, with food in hand, she opted to tease. Weren't you feeling unwell today? Can you handle such greasy fare? Haha, I might struggle a bit. So why not you eat more and lend a hand? Before long, the waiter brought forth an abundance of dishes, filling the table to the brim. Wang Gan placed the beef tripe and duck intestines in front of Wang Qi, saying, you like these, so have plenty. Oh dear, this is far too much. We cannot possibly finish it all. No worries, it's all an expensive fare. 1 tea take up much space. Huang Wan observed the easy rapport between Wang Gan and Wang Qi, seemingly sharing an unspoken understanding. She then jested, Wang Gan, how do you know what our esteemed class leader enjoys? Have you two perhaps gone on secret dates? Wang Gan was momentarily taken aback. These preferences stemmed from a past life, events yet to unfold in this one. How could he explain? Wang Qi, her face flushed from her roommate's teasing, playfully pinched her friend, and a light-hearted scuffle ensued. Hey, eating hot pot is all about enjoying these dishes. Does anyone truly dislike them? With this clarification, the brief interlude came to a close. Throughout the meal, Wang Gan engaged in lively banter, inadvertently revealing snippets of information, such as how his family's factory had secured a significant contract and the ensuing chaos it brought. My father has tasked me with learning to manage some affairs. Only now do I realize how challenging it is to earn a living. Alternatively, after some time, I plan to dabble in investments myself. Wang Gan, who is somewhat embarrassed by his own bravado, manages to mask his discomfort amidst the revelry of drinking and indulging in hot pot. Yet, one must boast. The initial step in crafting a persona relies on self-deception. Once momentum builds, the minions and sycophants will take the stage. Presently, there is not even a supportive character to be found, at most. Sue merely echoes a few remarks. However, those words, coupled with his newly acquired attire and a fresh set of wheels, have successfully implanted the image of a wealthy second-generation heir who is beginning to engage with his family's business into the minds of most present. Gu Linfeng seizes the opportunity to sit beside He Qingxian, striving to engage her in various topics of conversation, but alas, he only elicits a perfunctory smile. Huang Mingzhi remains taciturn, immersed in his meal. Su Wei, on the other hand, transforms into the life of the party, incessantly sharing jokes to enliven the atmosphere. Just as everyone is enjoying their meal and lively conversation, 3 individuals enter the establishment, 2 women and 1 man. Wang Gan catches a glimpse out of the corner of his eye. It is none other than Wu Yue and her friend Xinjing. Accompanying them is a young man. Unfamiliar to Wang Gan, yet stylishly dressed, suggesting he hails from a well-to-do background. Upon entering, they are met with the sight of a bustling table by the window and Wang Gan, seated at the head, animatedly conversing. Wu Yue's expression shifts to one of displeasure in an instant. Chapter 17. In a narrow encounter. The brave prevail. Wu Yue and Chen Jing are evidently taken aback to find Wang Gan here, and in such a setting no less. Wang Gan sits confidently at the head of the table, surrounded by classmates, including the class beauty He Qing Shan, engaged in jovial discourse, exuding the aura of a social center and a successful individual. This starkly contrasts with their recollection of him as a meek, sycophantic figure who obediently catered to their whims. Especially for Wu Yue, witnessing Wang Gan attentively serving Wang Qi with food without even casting a glance in their direction, ignites a surge of inexplicable disappointment and resentment within her. The young man accompanying them seems to notice the commotion, pausing to glance at Wu Yue, seemingly inquiring about her sentiments. A friend insulted, a bestie must step in. Does the sycophant still possess some pride? Let us see how he is flattened and rounded off, and how he adequately apologizes to them. Chen Jing confidently strides to the booth, her face adorned with a feigned smile, her tone dripping with sarcasm, pitched just right for all to hear. Oh, isn't that Wang the Tycoon? Have you changed venues for your extravagant spending today? TSK, how lavish. Are you here for another feast? Did you win a lottery for $1 billion? Or is this from the proceeds of concert ticket sales? Have you so quickly forgotten our dear Wei Wei? Truly, one can be so pragmatic and heartless. Her cutting remarks, laced with mockery and insult, instantly draw the attention of everyone around. Wang Gan, momentarily taken aback by her mention of a lottery win, momentarily wonders if she has also experienced a rebirth. It soon dawns on him that she is merely speaking out of spite. Ah, so it is the chief shadow of Wu the campus beauty, the professional foot masseuse. How is it that, before your master has even spoken, you leap forth to snap at others? Huh! Gu Linfeng beside him could no longer contain his laughter and burst out. Sui also struggled to stifle his amusement. Chen Jing, incensed by Wang Gan's mercilessly cutting remarks, turned pale, her finger trembling as she pointed at him. She had believed that by standing in Wu Yue's corner and judging Wang Gan, this sycophant would obediently come crawling to her. Surely it would be easy to invite him to dinner and procure gifts later. Yet, the situation diverged sharply from her expectations. Chen Jing's mind buzzed, left in a state of bewilderment. You, who do you call a foot washer? Wang Gan, you scoundrel. Do not go too far. Go too far? Wang Gan sneered. Compared to certain individuals who indulge in their own interests while casting aspersions on others, what I have said is hardly excessive. Moreover, I pay for my own meals with my own money. What concern is it of yours? Who I associate with or forget is none of your business, outsider. Are you the Pacific Police, meddling in matters that do not concern you? Worrying over trifles and intruding where you do not belong? Hurry back to your master and wag your tail, instead of being an eyesore here. After unleashing his tirade, Wang Gan felt an immense relief wash over him. In his past life, he had longed to reprimand Chen Jing fiercely, but hesitated, mindful of her close ties to Wu Yue. After graduating, when they officially parted ways 2 years later, she had already left the provincial capital. He had bottled up this pent-up frustration for many years. Chen Jing was rendered speechless by this barrage. At that moment, Su Wei also regained his composure and leaped into the fray, eager to strike down the fallen dog. He was a natural protector of his own, immediately setting aside his chopsticks and shifting into battle mode. Goodness, in this age, the forest is vast, and all kinds of birds abound. Some people, it seems, are truly blind, choosing to overlook the sparkling diamonds and instead rummaging through the trash for stones, only to regret their misguided choices later. TSK, too late for regrets. Though he did not name names, everyone present understood precisely whom his words were directed at. The girls from Wang Qi's dormitory paused their meals, awkwardly watching this unfolding drama. Huang Mingzhi furrowed his brow. Chen Jing's fiery temper could hardly withstand such provocations. She had already been upset on behalf of her friend Wu Yue, who had been heartbroken in recent days, and now, having stood up for her friend, she was met with disdain. Furthermore, being publicly scolded by Su Wei. Who did he think he was? She instantly exploded. Pointing at Su Wei, she shouted, "You fatso! What are you talking about? Mind your language." After berating Su Wei, she turned her ire towards Wang Gan, her voice brimming with fury. "Wang Gan, what do you mean by this? If you wanted to break up, was it necessary to humiliate me so? And why without cause? Did you block Wu Yue's phone number in WeChat? You owe her an explanation." At that moment, Wang Gan leisurely sipped his sour plum juice. Hearing Chun Jing's accusation, he slowly lifted his eyelids and glanced at her with the disdain reserved for a clown, his tone frigid and devoid of emotion. "Humiliate? Those who insult others shall themselves be insulted. Do I need to explain myself to you? Who do you think you are?" Chun Jing trembled with rage, her face flushed. At that moment, the well-meaning Huang Mingzhi attempted to mediate. He rose and urged, "Hey, Chun Jing, Wang Gan, we're all classmates. Let's discuss this calmly and avoid quarrels. It reflects poorly on us. Sit down." Before Wang Gan could respond, Su Wei forcefully pushed Huang Mingzhi back in his seat, glaring and growling. "Huang Mingzhi, are you foolish? Can't you see they're bullying our Dango? Everything you eat and drink is paid for by him. You're siding with outsiders. Do you have no conscience?" After scolding Huang Mingzhi, Su Wei unleashed his fury upon Chun Jing, spitting words with fervor. "How dare you ask why you were blocked? Does Wu Yue even comprehend her own actions? She treated our Gan Gu as a backup, expecting him to come at her beck and call. Now that she sees him thriving, she regrets it? It's too late." His agitation grew. Pointing at the pale-faced Wu Yue by the door, he declared, "Listen, Chun Jing, and you, Wu Yue, a good horse doesn't return to old pastures. What status does our Gan Gu hold now? He is a rich heir, capable and desirable. Does he lack for beautiful women? Would he covet someone so fickle and materialistic as you? Hurry and take your so-called backup and leave. You're nothing but an eyesore here." Su Wei's words rained down like a machine gun, piercing through their hearts, leaving Wu Yue and Chun Jing utterly humiliated. Other diners at nearby tables turned to gawk, whispering and pointing fingers at Wu Yue. Never before had she faced such public disgrace. Her face burned, her head buzzed, and tears brimmed in her eyes, yet she stubbornly held them back. She bit her lip, her body swaying unsteadily. The boy accompanying her felt utterly awkward, his complexion shifting from pale to flushed. He attempted to interject, but was silenced by Su Wei's intensity and the scrutinizing gazes around him. Ultimately, unable to endure the humiliation any longer, Wu Yue shot a venomous glare at Wang Gan and Su Wei, filled with resentment and defiance. With a sudden stamp of her foot, she seized Chun Jing, who was still eager to argue, and almost fled the hot pot restaurant. The boy hesitated briefly before following suit, retreating with his tail between his legs. The farce abruptly came to an end. The atmosphere at the table became momentarily stagnant. Wang Qi and the other girls exchanged glances, uncertain of what to say. Wang Gan, however, appeared unfazed, lifting his glass and smiling at the stunned crowd. All right, the party poopers have left. Let us continue eating and drinking. Don't let a few flies dampen our spirits. Come, let us raise a toast to celebrate my liberation from the past and my rebirth." His nonchalant and resolute demeanor complicated the perceptions of those present, especially the girls. This Wang Gan was indeed no longer the same. He had transformed into someone enigmatic, even somewhat intimidating. Yet simultaneously, his assertiveness and decisiveness exuded a dangerously alluring charm. He Qingxian gazed at Wang Gan, her eyes shimmering as if she were re-evaluating this once inconspicuous classmate. Chapter 18. Watching the game at the bar. Wang Gan, "Please stop serving me. I truly cannot eat another bite," Wang Qi exclaimed, clutching her round belly, overwhelmed and protesting her limits. In Wang Gan's eyes, she appeared somewhat endearing. The others at the table cast curious glances at the pair, yet the two remained oblivious to their scrutiny. Wang Gan's behavior stemmed from habits of his past life, while Wang Qi perceived it as a form of bribery to excuse her from class absences. As the hot pot meal neared its conclusion, it was time to disperse. Despite a few minor interruptions, the atmosphere remained relatively lively, thanks to Wang Gan's deliberate banter with Su Wei. At the very least, a preliminary image of Wang Gan as a wealthy heir, extravagant and ruthless towards his ex-girlfriend, had begun to form in the